Yo, what's going on, guys? The Yorkshire Biker here. So I just nipped out this afternoon, Sunday afternoon. Just thought I'd get out and do a bit of a video. It was just one of those where, look at all the fly tipping. It's absolutely disgusting. It was just one of those where I felt the need to get out on the bike and do a video. I don't know exactly what it's going to be about, but it was just sort of a thing. I need to get out and do something kind of thing. So I'm just nipping around country lanes around my place. Again, I've been playing about with the microphone. After the vlog that I've just uploaded, it appears there was a little bit too much wind noise still. So I've been playing around. I've now done some slight adjustments. So it's, again, partly a test, just to make sure that I've got the audio right, basically. Time to wake up some people in small village of High Melton. Nice quiet little place. Well, it was until I turned up. So I do apologise if the footage on the drift is a little bit shaky. There's not many places on the Tiger that I can actually mount it without it being sort of wobbly. It doesn't have, unfortunately, the image stabilisation that the GoPro has, but you've got to live with what you've got. So yesterday, basically the microphone, I'm still on the drift one, the microphone was mounted in the right cheek piece of my helmet. It was in the cheek piece, but right at the front, so you could still pick up obviously the sound. But although I have it in the same place as I did when I had the drift, it appears GoPro enhances the audio slightly. So yes, it's in the same place, but the audio is slightly louder, which means it's picking up a lot more wind noise. But when I say louder, I mean more sensitive. So I've done some playing about, and I've now decided I've moved the microphone. It's now mounted right at the front of my chin piece. It's now mounted right at the front, directly underneath my mouth, so I can feel it when I'm talking. And instead of it just being a plain microphone, I've now added one of those small black windsock things that you get that are made out of sponge. I have got one of the dead cat type things that it's all fluffy and it just feels a little bit funny. I can feel it when I'm talking, and I'm either going to end up getting annoyed with it, or I'm going to end up eating a load of fluff, and I don't want either. So I've decided to just stick a small sponge filter on and hope that it's enough. I get that I'm not going to eliminate wind noise entirely. I don't think you can ever get a setup where that is possible, but I just want to try and make it as best as possible. Just one of those things I've put up with it for so long. I've just decided I now want to improve the quality of the content that I'm providing for you guys, because you sat watching the channel, and who wants to watch crappy audio? Well, you don't. You listen to crappy audio. Who wants to watch crappy footage and listen to crappy audio? You don't want to, do you? Tanpit Lane. There's a nice little quiet villages around here. It's an area that I don't come to very often. I'm saying that, look at the state of the road. Again, apologies if apologies if the drift's a little bit wobbly. I've not got anywhere else I can mount it, unfortunately. So yeah, I just nipped out. I'm on some 60 roads, national speed limits, and as you can see, the views that I get around my gaff are quite good. I have noticed there's a lot of fly tipping about though. It's not very attractive, is it? So while I'm out, obviously testing the audio, I thought it'd probably be a good idea at this point to do a proper review on the tyres that I'm on. I know I have spoke about them in the past, and I've kind of done a review, but now I'm coming to the end of the life of the tyres. I can sort of give you a full in-depth review, so to speak. So I mean, I bought my tyres from Demon Tweaks. There are other tyre places available, but at the time they were sort of the cheapest out of the many that I looked at. Which way do I go? We'll go right. Yeah, they were the cheapest at the time for the tyres that I wanted. I think it was about £188 for the pair. And that's a 150 rear, so it's a 150 70-17 on the back. On the front, because it's the road version, I've got a 110 80-19. Only a couple of quid difference between the many tyre sizes they do, so nothing to argue about. Now, when I was buying the tyres, we bought them because we do some green laning, and we were planning on obviously getting a little bit more adventurous with it. So we thought we'd buy the tyres, and it'd allow us to go some further places. Granted, it has done. It has enabled us to go through some slightly more muddy situations. But the problem lies with... It's not a problem with the tyres. The problem lies with the weight of the bike. So, yes, the tyres can cope with a bit more mud. Admittedly, that's a positive. But because of the weight of the bike, it outweighs the traction that's provided by the tyres. So, you still end up getting stuck. Yes, you can go further, but if you're getting stuck, you may as well not have spent the money on the tyres, because, I mean, the Anakee Wilds, they're a 50-50 tyre. So, yes, it allows you to go further places off-road, and you can get slightly more muddy, but that comes at a price, and obviously that's handling on the road. Oh, they've took speed bumps out. So the handling on the road, in the dry, can't fault them whatsoever. I mean, you riding, you wouldn't really know that you're on a knobbly tyre. They are quite good at what they do, to be fair. In the dry, as I said, you don't notice that you're on a knobbly. And I've gone round corners that... And I've done some fairly spirited riding, and they handle quite well. They don't slide or anything like that. You don't feel them drifting. But yeah, it's just one of those things. You've got to make a sacrifice. Off-road, they're relatively okay. In the dry on road, I'd say they're really good. I'd say they're really good. But the problem is when the roads get either a little bit damp or you're riding in the rain. Personally, I don't like riding in the rain on these tyres. They're not very confidence inspiring, and you can actually feel, in the wet, you can feel the tyres drifting. It's not been, for me personally, it's not been too much of an issue. You can feel it, but I've always managed to keep it under control. You just end up being very very sketchy around the corners. Oh, nice new tarmac. You end up riding like a beginner again, because the tyres are that horrible in the wet, you don't actually ride. So, would I actually buy the tyres again? The answer for that is a no. Although they are good and they do what they need to do, next time when it comes to replacing the tyres, I'm just going to put some more slightly road orientated tyres on. I'll go right here. I'm going to put some more slightly road orientated tyres on that will do a little bit of off-roading. I don't know where this road goes. Might not go anywhere. We read reviews when we were buying the tyres, and there's people saying that they could get maybe 2,500 to 3,000 miles out of a pair of tyres. I'm not sure how exactly they've done that. I don't race around all the time. I ride. I'm not a slow bob, but I do ride fairly steady. I'll give it a blast now and again, but nothing major. I don't go racing about, and I've managed to get probably, well, I've just done 20,000 miles. I've managed to do probably 1,000 miles on these tyres, and there's less than half. Well, I'd say there's probably 3 mil left of tread. So what I'll do is I'll pull up just up the road, find somewhere nice and quiet to stop, and I'll let you have a look at the tyres, and I'll show you what condition they're in at the moment. Okay, so it appears I've stopped just in time for the rain, so I'm just at my usual spot. So we'll just have a look at the tyres, and I'll let you know, so you can see what condition they're in. Now we'll go to the front first. This doesn't seem to have took much wear. I mean, you can still see that there are knobbles right on the edge of the tyre, admittedly. So it is a little bit more difficult to get rid of those, but there's still quite a lot. If I go to this angle, there's still quite a lot of tread on there, and they're not really on the front, they're not rounded off. So these particular tyres, you're probably looking at maybe a 2 rears to 1 front, which is usually the case, but the wear on the front seems to be absolutely brilliant. Whether the longevity outweighs the performance of the tyre, probably, because recently I locked up the rear, had a little bit of an accident, and just tapped the back end of a car. I managed to get the majority of the speed off. It was just down to a couple of miles an hour, but it is what it is. Now that's the front tyre. If we go around to the back, I mean, you can see here that it's I mean, it is actually starting to rip slightly there. Apologies for the angle. You can see that the tyre is, if we go to that sort of angle, you can see the tyre is fairly squared off. There's not a lot of life left on the centre of the tyre. The edges, there's quite a lot still. As I said, it's a fairly good tyre in the dry, but it's just one of those things. In the wet, it's not very good. That's the rear tyre there. Yeah, they're not the best. They're not the best in the dry, in the wet, sorry, but in the dry, absolutely brilliant. So that's kind of a review on the Michelin Anakee Wilds. Hopefully the audio and everything's fine now. I do apologise if it's not as professional as the likes of RevZilla and so on. But it is what it is. It's just sort of a video off the cuff. So don't forget, guys, you can support the channel. You can do that by visiting Patreon and becoming a member. That's for as little as $1 a month. There are different tiers, and you get different stuff depending on obviously the tier that you subscribe to, so to speak. But it's there in case you want to. You don't have to. I just thought I'd mention it to you guys in case you do want to help support the channel. But don't forget to either like or dislike the video. Either way, please leave a comment and let me know what you do or don't like about it, so obviously we can work on improving things. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. And when you do subscribe, hit the bell button. That'll just ensure that you get notifications every time I upload. I found that most of the videos are watched by people that aren't subscribed to the channel, so I think people are subscribing but they're not getting a notification through for some reason. But we'll call it a day there. So don't forget to ride safe, keep the sticky side down, and until next time, I love you all.